And hello, Miss Rebecca. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. I love your backdrop.
Thank you. I'm inspired. I'm passing as a Filipino boy. But blah, 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 blah. The movie, it's absorbing and intriguing. And it's about time that someone adapts the fantastic Nella Larsen's great novel.
Yes, indeed. I couldn't agree more.
Now, what inspired you though? Let's begin with the basics. What inspired you not only adapt the beloved 1929 novel, but also direct it, making it your feature film debut?
The two things, the adaptation and the directing of the movie, are so interwoven in my mind. I mean, I always adapted it with a view to directing it, because part of the reason why I wanted to adapt it was because I had a lot of very big filmic ideas very quickly on reading the book. You know, I got to, I don't know, page 10-ish, and I was like, oh, this is a movie and it has to be in black and white. And I started seeing that tea room sequence when they meet each other in black and white and in a sort of boxy aspect ratio where I didn't have the language for it. And I could see some of those panning shots and these ideas that you see in the film I had then. I mean, I had a lot of bad ideas too, but a lot of those big ideas were then. So, you know, it was very interwoven for me. The screenplay was just a sort of a way to get to the directing, you know, so I could get all the ideas down on paper.
That is my question, actually. So from the very beginning, you've always envisioned it as a black and white and a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Was there any creative art? You know what I mean? Was there any meaning behind it?
Absolutely. I think, you know, they're both sort of similar. This is a story about the limitations of categories and perception and how we all see things differently according to context. And, you know, I think that in a similar way, black and white film sort of suggests that things are literally black and white, but they are not literally black and white. Black and white film itself is gray. So even though we shift it into this definition, what we're actually talking about is 1,000 shades of gray, just like people. You know, no one can be reduced to the limitation of one definition or one category. And similarly, the 4:3, it's a way of visually representing constraint and imprisonment. And you know, they're literally in a box. And you know, someone said earlier at Q&A, which I thought was really smart, you know, if you're a film nerd, you're going to spot that that's a interesting use of aspect ratio. But if you're not, I think you're just going to feel something is constraining. And that sort of subliminal feeling, I think, helps the overall themes of the movie.
I love that. The many shades of your characters. Now, talk to us about the dynamics of the two female characters that you have. The wonderful Tessa Thompson as Irene, Reenie, and the equally fantastic Ruth Negga as Clare, the girls who grew up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they play these two girls who grew up together in Chicago and then meet again late in life. And I mean, they've always struck me as the perfect people for these roles, and they are so. I'm in awe of, honestly, of what they did. I mean, it's an extraordinary thing to see very complicated, ambiguous characters who sort of, you know, are challenging in many ways. It's just an astonishing thing to see them fully embodied by actors of their astonishing talent.
I love how your themes, how Nella Larsen's themes are, well, very present here. Subliminally, some of them, but you get it. Now, the word passing, though, is quite a curious word, right? I mean, at some point of our lives, you all pass for something, you know?
Well, yes, I think the idea is, I think Nella Larsen is talking about something that is specific as it pertains to race. You know, specifically African Americans would pass for something other than being Black, whether that was white or Spanish or, you know, a bunch of things. Like, it happened, you know, a lot. Native, like Indigenous, was often another thing that, you know, Black people would pass as. But I think what is really interesting about the novel, and I hope the movie, is that it sort of transcends the specificity of that and becomes about all of the ways in which we struggle to define ourselves. How much freedom do we have to define who we want to be versus who the world thinks we ought to be, or how much have we internalized what we think, the kind of person that we think we ought to be, and where does that rub against what we want? And that's true for everyone.
Oh, a big congrats on passing. And it's all about presenting your authentic self. And in quoting the movie, I have this wild desire to see the film again.
Yes, good. Good quote.
Congrats again. Good luck on everything.
Thank you.